It's hot. I just climbed this little mountain. Fuck. You know, we all have this really weird addiction as human beings. And the more I think about it, this is kind of ironic. The more I think about it, the more I realize that it's an addiction. And if you're listening to this, you probably say, no, I'm probably an exception from this. He's not talking about me. And unless you are like some enlightened being and have the most like cleansed consciousness of all time, then yes, I'm not talking about you. But anyway, I'm talking about our addiction to thinking. And just how not normal it is and how much it is a problem. Like it's like an excessive indulgence, and it just causes nothing but suffering for most of us. It takes us out of the present moment when this is the only moment we actually have. Most of us spend so much of our lives thinking that we don't ever even really get to live. And that's how I felt for a major majority of my life. Like up until 22 years old, I'm 24 now, I felt like most of my life was like, it kind of sounds kind of sad, but like not even lived, because I was just in my head so much and everything was so pre-planned and was so thought out, and the amount of stuff I avoided because of thinking and fears and all this. I don't know. Even from like just to kind of switch ways to approach this topic, like looking at it from like a biological standpoint, we look at all the other species and, you know, like plants, trees, animals, bacteria, whatever it may be, and we, you know, we say like, oh, there's something different going on. Like it seems like humans have this like ability or like this like consciousness thing. And something I like to think of often is like, what if all these other types of organisms, plants, trees, animals, what if they did have this same ability, but they just didn't care because they're just existing and being? They don't care about philosophy or the meaning of life or any of this stuff because they're just here. They're just so in the moment. Might sound kind of ridiculous to think about. But I think it makes perfect sense. You know, there are benefits to thinking too. Like I don't want to say like thinking is like this horrible thing, because thinking has helped us advance so much in the sciences and medicine and understanding the universe and all this stuff. And, you know, art, writing, movies, all this stuff. But I think that we all indulge in it too much, thinking. I know I definitely do, like way, way too much. And the more I've been able to like lessen that and just kind of like be present while like allowing thoughts to be there, but not engaging with them, I don't know. I feel like I just get more out of life. And I realize like how much of a problem that's been the more I like slowly step away from that, from like just being ran by my thoughts, completely controlled by my thoughts. In fact, when I was 17, I was diagnosed with obsessive compulsive disorder, which is essentially like a disorder where you are essentially controlled by your thoughts. You're essentially like tortured by your thoughts all the time. It's like when your thoughts start to torture you, I think is a fair way to describe OCD. And you engage in like ritualistic behavior and compulsive behavior because you're like a slave to your thoughts. And yeah, the more that I've grown as far as like spiritually, or I don't want to say spiritually actually, because that makes it sound like abstract. I don't know. The more I've just like, sat with my thoughts and have been still, and just kind of like been more present, I've just realized how destructive your thoughts are and how they can really have a huge effect on your reality. Because reality is literally whatever our mind creates. There is no objective reality. At least I don't think there is. I just think that reality is subjective to each person, and we have the ability to work towards creating the reality we want. I really believe that. And I feel like with OCD, with obsessive compulsive disorder, I've been able to recover from it so much that I would almost even say I'm cured from it. I don't want to say that completely though, because it's medically inaccurate, because they say that it's not curable. But I don't know. Everything that I struggled with OCD in the past, it's almost completely gone. Like, it's all like decimated. It took like years of therapy and years of like working on myself and my mind and everything. But yeah, just we spend too much time thinking and not enough time just like being here, when our time is already so limited. And thinking just takes us out of life if we engage in it too much. Anything in moderation, I guess, right? Like, isn't that what people say? But I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. This is just my take on it. Like, the more I've been able to, like, it's not even gain control of my thoughts, but the more I've just been able to like let my thoughts just pass and not be so attached or cling to every single thought I have, life is just more fulfilling. I'm just more there. I take more risks. I'm just more, I just feel more alive, if that makes sense. But yeah, we should all try to stop thinking so much, or stop engaging with our thoughts so much. We can't really control how much we think, but we can work on controlling how much we engage with our thoughts. And I think that's something that at least I could get a lot better at. But yeah, thanks for listening to this random talk about thoughts. Appreciate it. See ya.